Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. Is America in a new civil war? These are not my words. This essentially is a discussion between Tucker Carlson and Ray Dalio, who's a thought leader, who's a well-known investor. And Ray Dalio said, there are irreconcilable differences between two sides in America that each side is willing to fight for. Folks, I'm not talking about a civil war where guns, weapons, and physical altercations are involved. I'm talking about a civil war where we as a country simply don't get along and where each side is willing to, fight for their position to an extent that we've never, ever seen before. And I think that if there are such big ideological divides between two factions in our country, I'm talking about the conservatives and the liberals, I think that this creates more problems for us in the future. It creates two warring factions, if you will, and within the context of that, the phrase new civil war was used. But it creates significant ideological differences, and it becomes harder for us to come together as a people. I live in a neighborhood where some people are staunchly conservative and others are extremely liberal. Literally, my neighbor on one side is extremely liberal and my neighbor on the other side is extremely conservative. And they don't, as you can imagine, they don't talk with each other at all. And so this again creates a significant ideological divide and a new civil war. Let's roll the tape and hear what Tucker Carlson had to say in his discussion with Ray Dalio, and let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's watch.
So I've heard you say that the United States is in a civil war, and I think most Americans don't perceive that. Can you tell us what you mean by that?
Well, what I mean by a civil war, I should say a type of civil war, right? And what I mean is that there are irreconcilable differences that each side is willing to fight for in order to get the outcomes that they want. And that in that environment, the issues of how does the legal system work? Is that going to stand in the way of that fight? Or is there going to be a fight that will make the cause more important than anything? So that's the type of situation that we're in.
The other crisis that Tucker Carlson and Ray Dalio talked about is the 60% crisis. 60% of the population of America, that's 60% of 330 million people, have a reading capacity that is less than that of a sixth grader. They read below a sixth grade reading level. And only 3 million people, that's less than 1% of our population, only 3 million people out of a population of 330 million people are actually driving all technological innovation. In other words, less than 1% of our population is driving technological growth in America, and everybody else is getting left behind. This creates a significant divide and an increasing divide between the haves and the have-nots, between those who are driving innovation, between those who are highly, highly wealthy and those who are not. So when this divide increases, it inevitably makes us get further apart as US citizens, as Americans, instead of bringing us closer together. And this has actually been increasing in the past few years. I've seen this happen a lot since COVID. And now with the advent of AI, you're going to see a lot of people who take advantage of AI, make more money, hire less people, and those who essentially get left behind by AI and who feel that, they weren't able to, the train left the station. So again, this is creating a very difficult situation for us as a country, simply because there's a significant ideological divide, like I mentioned at the start of this episode of Ignition Time, that is essentially a new civil war, and the fact that 60% of us read below a sixth grade level, and 1% of the American population, less than 1%, is driving all innovation. Again, widening the gap between the haves and the have-nots. Let's roll the tape and hear what Ray Dalio had to say with Tucker Carlson about this subject, which I think exaggerates this ideological and this financial civil war in our country. Let's roll the tape and watch.
Unicorns and the changes that we're seeing, fabulous changes in what we're seeing in technologies.
Yes.
But it really comes down to, if you take the number of people who have been making those changes and having unicorns in this wonderful world, they go to the best universities and they make these wonderful things happen. That's about 3 million people in a country of a little over 330 million people. And if you take the average, 60% of Americans have below a 6th grade reading level. 60% of Americans. So when we deal with education, you have to make that population productive. And through productivity, they become educated and they become productive. They earn money and you have a better society.
So that's it, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. This is Dr. Nitin Choda with Ignition Time. Let me know what you thought of this exchange between Ray Dalio and Tucker Carlson about the new civil war, about the 60% crisis in our country. I think that the best thing our viewers at Ignition Time can do is expand your skills. Don't pigeonhole yourself. Don't get stuck in a corner as far as your profession is concerned, as far as your skills are concerned. Try and be as diverse as possible. Try and expand your skills. Try and increase your knowledge. Try and increase your education, especially when it comes to world affairs, which, by the way, is what I'm trying to do for you with this channel, with Ignition Time. My name is Dr. Nitin Choda. Please click like, please subscribe, please enable notifications. Do me a favor and please share this video with 2 friends and family members. Hopefully this can motivate them to get to the next level. Hopefully this can motivate them to go above and beyond in terms of their skills, because I don't want us to stay stuck in a certain mindset, in a certain profession, and limit ourselves for the rest of our lives. We are capable of much more as Americans, and we are capable of much more as a country. Once again, my name is Dr. Nitin Choda. Please click like, please click subscribe, please enable notifications. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next episode of Ignition Time. Thanks. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.